Every place has a heartbeat, but it's not found on any map. It's in the moments when people come together, on streets, in classrooms, across local gatherings. It's the quiet dedication of those who shape the everyday. As we turn these pages, the faces may differ, but each one is a thread in the fabric of a community. What defines the pulse of a place like this? Let the stories speak.
And welcome to Community Uplift. I'm Ellie Wisniewski.
And I'm Rory Malor. Community is something we all experience, but not in the same way.
For some, community is something they build by joining together for something they care about and working towards something meaningful.
For others, community is something that shapes who they become, through the people and the places that change their lives.
Today, we're exploring the dynamic relationship between people and their communities through local organizations and personal stories, looking at what people give to their communities and what communities give back.
We'll start by looking at the students of Rowan University, who are working together to make change in their community. Through a community garden, students are growing food and creating opportunities for their peers.
I normally see students eating things like easy things that they could get from Holly Point or like the student center, because it's something that's easy for them. And like I know for me, you could commonly find me at Holly Point because it's something easy, and I don't really have time to cook for myself because I'm trying to go to class or clubs. So just something on the go. They're usually eating like these grab and go stuff because, like I said before, like it's easy, it's accessible, it's something there that I could just walk by, pick up, go, eat it real quick, and then, do what I have to do. It's kind of sort of like as a college student, you're like on a time crunch.
Personally, whenever I don't really have anything to eat, I just kind of eat snacks because it's like convenient and right there, and it's just like too much effort to go out of my way to get like real food. I don't think Rowan does a lot to like encourage people to eat healthy. They don't have a lot of options for it. I mean, there are some, but they're not that great, so most people just choose to eat like easier stuff instead.
The options are few and far between, but honestly, they're probably not encouraged because most of the popular options are not super healthy. It depends definitely on what resources are available to the student, because if you're someone who doesn't have a car and you only have a meal plan, your options are pretty limited as it comes to healthy food, because you can really only get super healthy stuff like that from ShopRite and other stores that aren't on campus.
I would say, as myself, speaking for myself, I would find more healthy options, or I would go out of my way to find things that, could meet my daily needs. But like aside from that, like I don't think the general student is doing that.
Because they're easier. It's just more simple to go and get the unhealthy thing that's cheaper than to go out of your way, go to the store, pay more, bring it home. You may or may not even be able to cook it in your dorm. It's just easier to go to whatever the nearest thing is and get the unhealthy option.
At the end of the day, I'm choosing what I want to eat, but like there's also a lack of like options to eat, so like I'm just kind of picking what's the like least bad option. I think a lot of people think eating healthy means like, oh, you can't eat this, or they have to have a really restrictive diet or eliminate things, but that's not true. It's just really about balance, but that's not taught very well.
If they don't have previous knowledge from like high school or from their family, they probably don't, just because it's not something we're taught here. It's something we're supposed to be expected to already know.
I'm not like huge on cooking or preparing, but if I was given an opportunity to learn what to do with the vegetables, I would take it.
If you know, there was something here, like, you know, I don't know, anything, like they could just grab, you know, a carrot or a tomato or a pepper, they'd feel more inclined to learn how to, you know, make more, you know, ingredients from their dorms or their apartments or even off campus or wherever.
So REAL is the Rowan Environmental Action League. So we're a club. It was originally part of the engineering department, but now we're sort of a club more associated with the School of Earth and Environment. We do a lot of sustainable activities and events on campus, such as Prof Swap. Basically, our goal is to increase the awareness of college students to have more sustainable choices and have events promoting that. The community garden is located between Edgewood Apartments and Magnolia Hall. It's near the gazebo, sort of behind where Discovery Hall is. It is run by Rowan Environmental Action League. There's an elected position on our e-board of community garden chair, so usually the community garden chair or the president runs it, depending on what year. We grow a mixture of things. We grow a lot of commercial fruits and vegetables, like eggplants, tomatoes, squash, beans, spinach, leafy greens, things like that. And then we also grow a lot of native plants to serve as sort of a living classroom if people want to be near here. So we grow things like aster, gay feather, anise hyssop, things like that. The community garden is for all students. It's for everyone here. It's not even for students. If you're a member of the Glassboro community, you're more than welcome to use the garden. That's what it's meant for. Over the summer, I see people walking by, and if I'm doing things, I invite them to just grab some spinach or something on their way back, and a lot of times they take it, and it's a great resource not just for students, but the Glassboro community as a whole. So the goal of the community garden is two things. One, I want it to serve as sort of a communal area for people to grow produce or to be able to sort of get their hands dirty with the garden and learn gardening experience that they might not be able to any other place. And so in that way, it sort of serves as a living classroom for both classes. I know one of the plant diversity classes comes here to teach about plants. And two, it serves as a resource for students who might not be able to get fresh produce or struggle with getting fresh produce, so they can still have healthy food without needing to pay money. The goal this year especially is to grow a lot of our excess produce and send it to the shop, which is another free pantry on campus for students. And then two, just even not for people who don't need to use the shop, it's always here and it's always free. It should always just be available for people to grab whatever they need. For me, this serves as sort of one of the many second homes I have on campus, and I feel like it could serve as that for many other people. There's just so much you can do here. You can just sort of sit around and enjoy it, and you can snack on all of the things here. And I think it's a great resource that people can take advantage of either during semesters or if they're a student over the summer. It's just a resource that is always here and you're always welcome to be a part of. And so I think that really for students, that's the main appeal of it. Between different meetings and events we have where I hopefully help instruct people on like how to grow if they're interested, or just through if they just wander by and can see a carrot that they want to try. I think the main goal of the community garden is to make people curious. And so after that, it's up to them whether they want to sort of learn more and take their own produce and take their sort of wellness into their own hands. But I think this sort of gets people a step in the door to sort of take produce and sustainability in their own way.
It's exciting to see how one group of students working together can affect a college campus, showing the large impact that small actions can have.
We'll now visit Lotus Recovery, a community built by people who have been through recovery and where residents come together to be a support system for each other.
For Glenn Kitchen, recovery didn't just change his life, it gave him a reason to change others. Each room tells a different story, different backgrounds, different struggles, same goal. It may look like an ordinary house, but for the men who live here, it's anything but ordinary.
And then we also have another refrigerator in our basement that we utilize for extra food.
There are rules here, curfews, responsibilities, accountability, not to control them, but to help them rebuild.
What's up, Rob? I'm all right. How are you? Properties look good.
I've struggled to get a job.
Recovery isn't something you do alone, and here you don't have to.
Showing the effort, you're going out there, you're filling out applications. He's the prime example. where he just couldn't find a job. He was out there all winter long, searching high and low, filling out applications, running into roadblock after roadblock. So unfortunately, he gets behind in rent, right?
Yeah.
So we have projects around the properties.
Yeah.
There you go.
Some days are louder than others. Some battles you can't see. Not every moment here is easy, but every moment matters. There was once a time when Glenn Kitchen needed a place like this. Now, he's built one. He's not just running a program. He's walking the same path, just a few steps ahead. He understands them because he was them. For Joe Caperna, this place represents something bigger than recovery. It represents a second chance he never thought he'd get.
My name is Joe Caperna. I'm actually a graduate and the general manager of Lotus Recovery. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a son. I'm all the things that I haven't been, and since I can remember, actually. My life was straight chaos growing up, even from as far as I can remember as a younger kid. I came from a rough background, rough childhood, and I was an angry kid. My life was unmanageable, put it that way. Didn't want to listen to anybody, to take anybody's suggestions. I knew everything, I could finish everybody's sentences. Straight angry individual, but very closed off to anything in life. But yeah, it was a very deep, dark person. Very deep, dark person.
So, out of all the programs, why would your wife choose you to come here?
She has spoken with my counselor, Melissa, and she knew me pretty better than I knew myself too, as well, apparently. And she knew the program and how the program worked, and she knew the type of person I was and what I kind of needed, you know. And she got the wheels spinning, you know, and that was that.
So, what has been the hardest part of being here so far and living in the houses?
I think the hardest part for me to be here, and for probably the first years being away from my wife and my kids, I have to say, that was probably the hardest thing that any man could probably, or any husband could go through, going through this. But I had to learn how to put that aside, and because I realized that, you know, I can't help them until I help myself. You know, I can't love them until I love myself. But that was very difficult going through, very tough. A lot of tears, you know, a lot of emotion through that first year. Yeah, it was tough, but I managed to get through it though.
Once guided by Glenn, now Joe helps guide others. He lived it, now he leads it. The 12-step program is the foundation, but the real change happens in the day-to-day. It's more than steps on paper. It's honesty. It's accountability. It's starting over.
What do I do here? I am the executive director. I oversee all of operations in Lotus Recovery. We are an abstinent program. We don't do MAT here. We are a 12-step based program.
And you mind going through that 12-step program?
So there's 12 steps. First step, admitting we're powerless and our lives become unmanageable. Second step, believing in a power greater than ourselves. Third step is turning our will over to that higher power. Fourth is taking a thorough inventory on ourselves. Fifth step is sitting down with our sponsor, going over that inventory. 6 and 7 is working on our character defects and our shortcomings. 8 is making a list of those who we're going to make amends to. 9 is making those amends to those people. 10 is taking a daily inventory on ourselves. 11 and 12, 11 is meditation and oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank, but 12 is giving back so what was so freely given to us and helping another individual go through these steps.
It's inspiring to see how the Lotus community supports each other in their day-to-day lives, creating connection through their shared experiences.
Within these kinds of communities, individual stories begin to take shape.
Gary Davis began working as a janitor and is now a longtime stagehand in the theater and concert industry. Here's how the culture around him helped him find his purpose in life.
Okay, so hello.
Hello.
Could you introduce yourself, please? What's your name?
Gary Michael Davis.
And how old are you?
I'm 70 years old.
Okay. All right, so Gary, could you describe your work ethic, please?
My work ethic came from my father. My dad offered me a job at RCA in 76, but I wasn't ready to go to work. I mean, I went home for a month. In RCA, I stayed there for 35 years. My father was there for 45 years. And RCA is a nighttime cleaning by, and I thought that's what I was going to do. But then they put me on day shift. And I said, cleaning wasn't for me.
Okay, so when did your passion for working in the production field begin?
They built Sony Blockbuster, the amphitheater down the street. And so I walked by there one day, and they were looking for help. So I applied for a security guard. No, I ain't know. I just wanted something to do, earn a little extra money. And they hired me, and that's at the amphitheater. It's a big hill, and they put me up at the big hill, away from everybody. But in case of a rumble or fight happened at the bottom hill, they expect me to run down there. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. So I wound up being put backstage. By me being backstage, I started understanding, seeing the back action that was going on backstage. I started meeting stagehands, and I said, well, the stagehands is making more money than the security guard. I want to be a stagehand. So I started selling myself to the people that was in charge of the stagehand. Tell them I wanted this job, I can do this job. But I didn't know nothing. I don't know nothing. But I kept on saying, I can do this. This is meant for me. So one time, something happened, they needed a person, and the guy called on me. And when he called on me, he told me I had to take that yellow security shirt off and come work for them. I immediately took that yellow shirt off, started working for them. Now here I am. I'm learning a little bit about audio. I'm learning a little bit about video. I'm learning a little bit about lighting. Like I said, I could never dream that a man from Canton, downtown Canton, doors that was open and things that I've seen, that it had to be a blessing.
When you were learning about audio and lighting, how was that experience?
Oh, that's, like I said, I'm like a fish out of water. I ain't know nothing. And I would ask questions, how you do this, how you do that? What make happen when you plug this up with that? What, the final outcome. And I asked a lot of questions, and I was surrounded by some really great audio and lighting guys. And it's like being a stagehand, you just ain't, unless that's gonna be, we call them like A1s. If that's gonna be your expertise, you're able to do all other kind of stuff, because the stagehand, it's more than that. It's carpenters, it's hospitality, it's one big field that open. And once you put your step into it, it's a whole lot more, it's a whole lot more.
Can you describe your favorite interaction that you've had with a performer?
Darius Rucker. I didn't know his name was Darius. I thought it was Hootie. It was Hootie in the Blowfish. So he was right there. I said, what's up, Hootie? He said, my name is Darius Rucker. I still called him Hootie because he always is. I never knew about no Darius Rucker. I always heard of Hootie, And all I do blew me away. Just her friendliness and her kindness. That's when I was working in the theater, at the Walnut Theater. No, it was the Forest Theater. And they had, I was doing a run for cats. And I had to mic up the lead singer Cats every night for about 2 weeks while they had to run. So every time I would mic up, I would always give a positive affirmation, you know, let her know how great she is, how good she's doing, how great the show is. So at the last show, she's singing, she's looking at me and singing. I melted. I just melted, you know. These are memories that can never be taken away from me.
So why is it important to you to continue helping out with stagehand and just in general?
I'm glad I came up when I came up in the 60s and 70s. Because it's not as complicated as it is today. It's too many decisions. You gotta find who you are and what you want to believe in, and believe in who you want to be, you know. Nobody can delegate your life. Nobody can label you something, you know. You have to label yourself, believe in yourself. And all I want is to try to help more people realize that the power is the power in them, you know. Don't wait for somebody else to give you your power when you walking with your power. Don't believe in something that you ain't. You know what you are, and you know what you're going to be. That's all I want to do. I just want to give. We surrounded by a bunch of haters. You know, you wake up as haters. They don't, you know, they can look at you and they hate automatic. So I took that, and all you got to do is take that and make that be your driving force, your engine, to keep you going. I invite haters. You know, the more they come, the more powerful I feel. You know, but they'll never take me down, and you can't never go backwards. You gotta believe in yourself. You know, clarity. You have to have clarity.
That story really shows how much a person's belief in themselves can come from the people they meet along the way. It's inspiring to see how Gary's community gave him the confidence and passion to do what he loves.
Next, we meet an aspiring photographer who, despite many obstacles, perseveres with motivation from his family, mentors, and clients.
So my name is Michael Alsop. I'm a photographer, Uber driver, a husband, and a father of 4 kids. I started being an Uber driver when I was working for a company called Acosta. They cut my hours down. I needed a supplement income, so I started being an Uber driver for that reason. I mean, difficulties, gas prices are ridiculous right now. Literally, it's like $4. The film $4 a gallon when it used to be like $3.20, and it cost me roughly about $20 or $30 more. Plus, between all the driving I do, I'm usually in my car about 60 to 70 hours a week, driving nonstop. I put over 80,000 miles in 1 year in my car, so it's kind of hard. It's kind of hectic right now, I'm not gonna lie. I'm barely home with my kids. They give me about an hour a day if they're lucky. That's usually when they come home from school, and as soon as they come home from school, I'm gone. And then I'm gone for the whole entire night. I mean, I don't get to spend enough time with my kids that I want to. My wife barely sees me except on the weekends, and that's maybe like 2 or 3 hours. So it's kind of hectic right now. I mean, it takes a toll on your health. Like I have rheumatoid arthritis. I have sleep apnea because it's hard for me to go to sleep. I gotta wear machines. I gotta take pills. I learned about photography when I was about 12, 13 years old, and freshman in high school. Started off as videography for me. Worked inside of my school's TV studio, and then I progressed from there. I always taking pictures. I started with film, and then from film I progressed to digital, and then digital is where I am now. It's an art. So photography, anybody can have a camera, anybody can take pictures, but it doesn't make it the art. The art is about the lighting, composition, what you do with the pictures, and how it makes people feel. So for photography, for me, it's all about art. It's the artistry about it. What you get out of it, how you construct it, how you deliver it, is what makes them important to me. So I mean, I've met phenomenal models since I started doing this, seriously full time. Great people, great. I've met some great minds, some great photographers. Here at Fuchs, which is the #1 boudoir photographer in Baltimore is my mentor. He's the one that taught me how to do lighting, how to move things around. So I've met some wonderful people. During the day, I'm usually in the studio, working on pictures, calling customers up, and setting things up to get stuff done and getting stuff booked out. So it's kind of it's a balancing act, but hopefully in another 2 or 3 months, it'll just be photography and no Uber, and then I have all the time in the world for them because photography is my schedule when I want to work and when I want to do it. Usually, I wake up in the morning, I check my phone and check my calendar to see what I have done. If I have any ride scheduled or reservations, I make sure I have those booked in, and then if I have any clients or people need to call back, then I come to the office. I sit here for about 2 or 3 hours doing work, editing pictures, and then I go in the car and start driving. And if I don't have to go driving, then have a customer coming in, either or. It's just more about just trying to take a breath when you can. Like, I mean, it's like just a breathe in. Hopefully we can play a little game with the family, or maybe watch a movie, something I can fit in. But I mean, it's not really a decompression. I mean, my decompression is when I go to sleep. That's my decompression, to be honest with you. When I go to bed, I probably get, if I'm lucky, if I get home by 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm back up at 6:30 in the morning. So like getting my son ready for school, then getting ready myself to come back to work. So like it's a never ending. I want them to know that I'm there. I mean, it's good to know that they have a father that cares about them. I mean, my dad was never around. So when I grew up, even though my dad lived with me, he was never around. He worked nonstop. And when he wasn't working, he would find something else to do. So he never went on vacations with us. He never spent time with us. So for me, I want to be able to spend that time with my kids, give them what my dad never gave me. So I want to be there I want to see their games. I want to see their sporting events. I want to see their concerts. I want to see anything they can do that I can be there for that my dad was never there for me. It feels good. It gives them a part of my life that they can see, that they understand that this is what daddy does. I mean, this is what daddy loves. I mean, I have 2 of my kids who love photography, taking pictures. They like the artistry of it. They like the creativity of it because they're creative kids. So they enjoy everything about it. I mean, I'm pretty sure if they had a chance, one would stay here all day and never go to school. You know what I mean? But to be honest with you, that's not real life, but that's what we do. I enjoy it. I mean, I like taking it home and see the pictures on the wall and looking at them every day. Just watch them grow. They're my kids. I love them. What father won't feel proud of their kids love what they do, what their dad does is proud. He'd be proud of me saying that my dad's a photographer. My dad took pictures of this person. My dad did this. I mean, why wouldn't I feel proud? I think they're probably a little happier, not as mean, more talkative. We get around. I mean, plus I like taking pictures of my kids, so they need to come here and take pictures of them. So I'm pretty sure they're pretty happy about it. In 3 months, hopefully, and as long as everything pans out the way it is that I start my day off at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm done by 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm done. And that is my goal. Then that's my kids' time. I go home, make dinner, I clean the house, spend time with them, do things with them. But that is my goal. Talked with Gap to do a photo shoot. I've talked with Louis Vuitton, Berkeley bags. I'm actually going to talk with a couple of gold and silver makers and diamond for accessory shoots. So, and then I have Nike asking me to do sneaker shoots. So yes. I'm actually looking for the day in 20 years when I don't have to do anything but maybe 1 or 2 shoots a month and just relax and retire just to be a happy man.
That was an inspiring story about the power of support systems across the different communities in people's lives. We look forward to seeing what Michael achieves next.
Our final segment highlights Nancy McCann, a local farmer who reflects on how her family and her community helped her through difficult times.
My name is Nancy McCann Foy. I co-own McCann Farm with my sister Anita. The farm was purchased by my grandparents in 1951. I grew up on the farm. My parents divorced when I was very young, so I spent my time with Dad at the farm and shared time with Mom in the next town over. So many life lessons learned on the farm, how to, mostly family, the importance of family, working together, and just, I continue to do this today, so it's just what I do. When I was 24, I worked at Sony Music, which is close here to Rowan and Pittman, New Jersey, and I did various jobs there. I worked as the trainer and, got to teach people how to do their job, and I met all types of people, and it was a very interesting job.
Do you know how many years you spent there?
I was there 13 years. I loved being outdoors and just When you walk into Sony, I did 12-hour shifts for the majority of my time there, and it was just being inside for 12 hours from 7 to 7, and we rotated from days to nights. So I spent a lot of time inside and missing family time a lot. Things were going really slow at work, and we had a meeting, and because I had lower seniority, I was going to lose my job from layoffs because the work just wasn't as it was prior years. We had just purchased my aunt and uncle's house. We're going back to 2007 when I did lose my job at Sony. We had just bought the house, lost my job, and my husband, you know, he was like, whatever you want to do. He is always supportive. My sister was now my neighbor at the farm, and I said to her, what am I going to do? I have a special needs daughter, and I had family leave that allowed me to be able to spend time with her for appointments, therapies, and her idea, my sister said, let's get this farm up and running, and the entire family supported us, so that's what we did. Yeah, my sister had already been selling produce. The farm had been there since '51. My dad always sold my aunts and uncles, grandmom. I mean, as kids, we worked there selling. So it was kind of like we knew how to sell and just hope that the community would support us. And it was going to be hard with Colleen, but it allowed us to be home so that I could make, you know, the appointments and everything that was necessary to care for her. I mean, our back door is just awesome. It opens up to a beautiful field, just the scenery. Just to be there, I feel like the weight of the world is kind of lifted from you. And we had that. I mean, Colleen had hundreds of seizures a day, and medically, we were going through a lot. My husband had serious health issues. My oldest daughter did as well, but we just kept on pushing and tried to figure things out. And one thing that my siblings always say, we'll figure it out. And that's what we did. We got the farm up and running. One thing that my sister and I and the rest of the family, we said we do not want to, as we were going to restart the farm, kind of like it's always been there, but we didn't want to take away from any other farms. We live in a farming community. We wanted to do things different. So agritourism was what we wanted to do. And wagon rides, come visit the farm, take a walk. And that's what we did at the farm. And it's really helped out. But the support of everyday customers is challenging. And we found ourselves having to go to 4-hour markets in Philadelphia. And the connections we made at Philadelphia were just amazing. I mean, people have said numerous times, you're selling more than produce here. It's just the relationships that we made with people has been amazing. Just, I don't know, this is actually a scripture, much is expected to whom much is given. And I look at, some people say, oh my gosh, how do you go through everything that you go through? But to me, I mean, we all have a story to share, and it's a lesson to teach. It's how I handle things. My Colleen, you know, hundreds of seizures, 2 grand mal seizures, and the phone call was made when she was seizure-free for 3.5 years. She had her first seizure after being seizure-free, and it was a grand mal seizure, and we called family, and they just stepped up. Friends come and they help at the farm, and they just don't leave because it's kind of contagious when you're out there farming, and the dirt, we call it dirt therapy. It makes you feel good.
Nancy's story is so touching and a reminder to stay connected to the people and places that shape us.
We hope these stories have helped show that community is a two-way street. It shapes us, and we have the power to shape it too.
We asked what defines the pulse of a place, and the answer wasn't one thing. It was all of it. The soil turned over in a garden, a second chance given when no one was watching, the patience to learn something new, and the choice to share. What these stories showed us is that community isn't something you find, it's something you build, and it builds you back. Every person we met was shaped by the place they chose to invest in. just as much as they shaped it. The story spoke, and what they said was simple: show up, give what you can, and trust that it matters. Because in the end, it does.